What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rudy Rodriguez Showmont here with another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. We're doing something a little bit different today as the Miami Hurricanes are off this weekend, so I get an off week myself. I'm on a bye in terms of not really on a bye, but on a bye in terms of I don't have to go to a game. I don't have to worry about watching a Hurricanes game. So I can actually watch the rest of the country and I can see what's going on in college football across the country. I do that on a weekly basis, but this weekend I get to really dig in hard on college football. So that's what this video is going to be largely about because absolutely, just because the Canes aren't playing doesn't mean that what's going on this week doesn't have an impact on the Miami Hurricanes. Of course, you went out, you're good. But here's the reality. You got big games going on this weekend. I'm excited to see them. And one of the games that we would like to take a look at off the rip is Florida State at UVA tonight in Charlottesville. While FSU was a 60-40 favorite on the matchup predictor for ESPN, I'm telling you right now, they're only a 6.5 point favorite. So people have noticed that the reality of Florida State right now, while they're a good team, and I'm not going to discount them, they're a good team. The last two teams they played are practice runs. The last two teams they played are give me games. I understand scheduling that stuff, but I also think it can give you a false sense of security when you're putting up 77 points against the Little Sisters of the Poor and the School of the Blind and the Deaf. I mean, it's just how it goes. East Texas A&M and Kent State, like these teams are horrible. So does Florida State now have a false sense of security having won those two games in that fashion? I get it. It builds and develops confidence. But go back and look at the Alabama game. They got the ball run right down their throat on the first possession of that game. And yes, Florida State did take over the game, dominate the game, etc. But let's not act like Thomas Castellanos threw for 300 yards. He threw 14 passes, was 9 of 14 for 152 yards. He was actually more effective running the ball himself with 16 carries for 78 yards. Outside of him, they didn't run the ball really all that much. He was a third of their running game. They got, Makai Danzy with 3 carries, 56 yards. He's a wide receiver. He had the big end around touchdown play. He's a wide receiver. Usman Chroma. Where is he? Usman Chroma right here. Why did I click his name? He's a freshman running back. He had in that game 7 carries, 31 yards. Gavin Sawchuk, 6 carries, 28 yards. Jalen Lucas, 6 carries, 22 yards. Roydell Williams, 6 carries, 14 yards. There's no big time running back in Tallahassee right now. Not that we know of. So this offense is largely predicated around the legs, primarily of Tommy Castellanos. Do they have talent? Absolutely. They do. They have talent. Deuce Robinson is a big target on the outside, 6'6", 220 pounds. He's going to be a tough cover for any defensive back. He's going to be a tough cover, no question about it. But this is their first road game. Similarly to how Miami plays up there next week in their first road game. But the situation is different. Miami has more talent. Miami has a better quarterback. Miami's got an elite offensive line and defensive line. Miami's defense is clearly shown to be excellent. And we haven't seen Castellanos face anything since Alabama, a home game. They played well. Bama didn't play well. And clearly, the spread isn't all that large. Virginia's 3-1. They have a loss to NC State by 4. They've played largely a similar podunky schedule. Coastal Carolina, William and Mary, Stanford. They beat Stanford 48-20. ACC opponent, but Stanford stinks. Stanford has lost a 27-3 loss to BYU, a 23-20 loss to Hawaii, and they beat Boston College 30-20. Boston College isn't very good either, obviously. So this game, obviously, we're going to find out about what's going on with these two teams. We're going to find out more about Florida State. I expect this game to be score. I expect there to be some scoring in this game. I think FSU is going to get scored on. I think they're going to win the game, but I don't think it's going to be some rock and sock'em 40-point win. They only scored 31 points against Alabama. It wasn't like they scored 60 points on Bama. So I think we're going to learn a lot about this game. And then we get ready for next week. So that's a game that I'm watching tonight, naturally, because it's tonight. Now after that, tomorrow is a big, big day. And it's headlined by the game with Oregon and Penn State. That game is at 7:30. Oregon travels to Penn State. Again, two teams that have played largely nobody. Penn State is a 3.5-point favorite. This game is on NBC Peacock. Wow, their tickets are going for as low as $543 on Vivid Seats, man. That's an expensive ticket for a 100,000 seat stadium in Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley, man. But that game I will be checking out. Obviously, 7:30, same time. Alabama goes to Georgia. This is another huge contest. Obviously, these games are not, they don't have the same implications that they used to have. Because if you lost a game like this, years ago, heck, even a few years ago when it was only a 14 playoff, it could cost you a playoff opportunity. I mean, it genuinely could. Alabama, I've heard people say if Alabama loses at Georgia, they're done. I disagree. I absolutely disagree with that sentiment. And I'll tell you why I disagree with it. I would like for them to be done. I don't like Alabama, but losing at Georgia doesn't mean a whole lot. And here's why. They can still win out. They could still win out and be 10-2 and be a playoff team. They still have games at home versus Vanderbilt. So at home versus Vanderbilt, a ranked team who beat them last year, and Vanderbilt's been one of the surprises of college football. At Missouri, ranked. Home versus Tennessee, ranked. South Carolina, is good, even though they're not ranked. Home versus LSU, ranked. Home versus Oklahoma, ranked. This is back to back to back to back to back. This is Georgia, Vandy, Mizzou, Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, and Oklahoma before they play one of their crap shits in Eastern Illinois. And then they finish off with Auburn. So they went out, even losing to Georgia. Even losing to Georgia, Alabama will be in the conversation for the playoffs. Not to mention, they could possibly be playing for an SEC championship. It's a possibility because I don't think Texas is going to run the table. Oklahoma is definitely not going to run the table now that John Mateer is out for at least a month. I don't see any of these teams in the SEC running clean. So I don't necessarily agree with the sentiment that if they lose, they're done. I don't see it. For example, if you look at the schedule for Texas, they're still going to play Oklahoma, Vandy, Georgia, and Texas A&M. Not easy. So, and they've already got a loss to Ohio State, but that's not a conference loss. So I don't think Bama's done. Does it help them if they win? Absolutely. If they lose, I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's a big game to watch and pay attention to because it does have implications. I mean, if Georgia wins, it really is a strong win for Georgia. You've also earlier in the day, you've got Georgia Tech against Wake Forest. Definitely want to check out Georgia Tech a little bit, see what they got going on. I have watched them sporadically, but not like a full game. USC at Illinois. Illinois got exposed last week badly by Indiana. Let's see what USC's got there. You've also got on the schedule Ohio State going to Washington. Don't know much about Washington this year. I'll just be real about that. Interested to see how Ohio State looks on the road traveling cross country. LSU at Ole Miss at 3:30. That's a big one. Again, is it end of the world for either team to lose? Not really, but this is a big one for both. LSU's ranked fourth. Ole Miss is ranked 13th. And Ole Miss, obviously, Lane Kiffin was already voicing his complaints, saying, of course, we're playing a day game because if this was an LSU, we'd be playing a night game. So, and then you got Auburn going to Texas A&M, and those are the 3:30 games. See if there's anything else here. Those are the main games. Those are the main. I mean, it's like 7 of them, 7, 8 games. It's a big weekend in college football, and I'm absolutely excited to see what's going to happen this weekend. Again, my first opportunity to really sit down and have all my TVs in the back on at the same time. Maybe split my big one into 4 screens so I have 6 games going on at any given time. But yeah, it's a big weekend. I'm excited about it, and I do. I mean, while it doesn't directly impact Miami, it does impact the college football landscape, and in the sense it does because God forbid the Canes have a loss at some point this season. We'll see what happens. I don't think that's going to happen, but nonetheless, I definitely want to see FSU tonight. See how they look after playing having a basically an off month of September. I mean, they basically haven't played a real game since the end of August. And here we are, and we're gonna find out how they look tonight and go from there. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. What games are you interested in? And what are your thoughts of these different games? Like if you would ask me who I think is gonna win each game that I mentioned, Florida State, I like Georgia Tech, I like USC, I like Texas A&M, I like Ole Miss over LSU, I like Ohio State. I like Georgia and I like Oregon. I like Oregon to win at Penn State. I think Penn State's fake. I just think Penn State is a fake team. To be ranked third and they play nobody, it's like, here's your gifted ranking, and it is what it is. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. And once again, Monday night, we're going to be rocking Hurricanes Unfiltered in college football live Monday night, 9 p.m. Let's do it 9 p.m. Hope to see you there. Appreciate y'all as always. Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.